The all-new Lincoln Navigator seems to have taken a course on standing out from the crowd, and it's carried over its newfound knowledge to the interior too. No, there aren't any camera tricks or lighting issues giving you the impression of blue leather. It's actually blue leather. And what a refreshing change that is from the boring beige, black and brown that we've seen in cars over and over again, including its competitors. Forming the yacht club theme in the Navigator is blue leather with plenty of stitching, a suede Alcantara-like material on the headliner, white wood along the dashboard and center console, and plenty of neat chrome touches. Made for carrying large families, comfort and space are important factors for buyers of the Navigator, and that is something that there is a lot of in all three rows. The driver and front seat passenger are spoilt for choice with 30-way power adjustable seats. Yes, 30. On top of that, there's multiple massage options, heating and cooling, and also the ability to bring the accelerator pedal and brake pedal closer or move them further away into the footwell. The second row gets heated captain seats, entertainment screens with wireless headphones, buttons to control the panoramic roof, independent audio controls, and a lot more. The most fascinating seats in the house, however, are in the last row. While most manufacturers tend to neglect these seats completely, the seats in the Navigator are not only large enough and comfortable enough to fit adults, but there's AC vents, cup holders, charging ports, and also the option to recline in the third row. As you'd expect, the quality is exceptional. Everything is padded and covered in soft touch materials. Even the door bins, an area that most other manufacturers simply use hard plastic. But Volvo is different, and they're proud of that, which is why the seats get small Swedish flags. And at a time when all other manufacturers are going with a push-to-start mechanism, the S60 stands out with its twist-to-start system. With the R design differentiating itself from the standard car, it gets aluminium mesh inlays on the dashboard and center console, it gets unique seats, a different steering wheel, and aluminium accelerator and brake pedals. Despite being the smallest sedan in the Volvo lineup, the S60 offers plenty of space for those in the back. The seats are comfortable and supportive, and there's also a 4-zone climate control system, meaning the driver, front seat passenger, and those in the back get individual controls of the AC temperature and fan speed. What's strange is that Volvo has omitted USB ports in the back for a full-on socket. Now, sure, this might be extremely useful if you want to vacuum out the car or charge a laptop up, but as far as versatility goes, USB ports would have been much better. Boot space measures in at 442 liters, which, if you're wondering, is more than the Mercedes-Benz C-Class, but unfortunately not as much as the Audi A4 or the BMW 3 Series. Inside, it's just as magnificent. The design is similar to the F12 Berlinetta that this car replaces, but the quality is second to none. Carbon fiber covers a lot of the cabin, including the steering wheel, the paddle shifters, the center console, and the cargo shelf, while everything else is covered in soft leather. What's truly remarkable, however, is the amount of space that the 812 has to offer. Unlike most supercars and grand tourers, it doesn't require you to be a yogi or a contortionist to get inside, and the amount of space for occupants and cargo is truly exceptional. Boot space measures in at 320 liters, which is enough to fit around 3 cabin-size bags, and then there's more storage on the cargo shelf behind the seats too. Speaking of the seats, we have Daytona leather seats that are power adjustable fitted to this test car, and they are a little stiff to stop you from being flung around on the bends. But Ferrari being Ferrari, there are 7 other seat options that you can have, ranging from standard seats all the way to carbon fiber monocoque racing seats for the ultimate F1 experience. In terms of entertainment and convenience features, the 812 offers a JBL audio system, cruise control, a multi-information passenger display, and cameras in the front and back. The camera in the front stops you from scraping the bumper on a speed breaker or pavement, and the one in the back makes parking much easier. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's start driving. Now, before jumping into the details and telling you all about the interior of the X7, I'm sure there's many of you watching who are thinking, well, if I had a big family and a lot of money, I'd just buy a Range Rover. But you see, the X7 has two big things the Range Rover doesn't. Two extra seats. That's right, the X7 is a proper 7-seater SUV, and a great one at that. Amazingly designed and put together exceptionally well, the cabin of the X7 is a great place to be. There's Alcantara on the headliner, soft leather on the seats, steering, dashboard and door panels, and there's also glass on the engine starter button, gear knob, iDrive controller and volume control knob. It's spectacular. You might be thinking that the X7 is just a namesake 7-seater SUV and that the last row isn't really usable by anyone who's more than 4 feet tall. But that isn't the case. Firstly, accessing the last row is really easy, and of course, it's a completely automated process. You simply press one button, and the second row seats move out of the way, allowing you easy access to the third row. Once the second row seats move, then you have hidden controls near the wheel arch that bring the third row seats out of the floor. Once you're in the back, you'll be amazed by the amount of space in the third row. And when you start looking around, you'll notice cup holders on either side, Type-C USB chargers, and a couple of cargo hooks too. Speaking of cargo, let's hop out and take a look at the boot. With the third row in use, boot space isn't great and measures in at just 340 liters. But simply press one button called Max Cargo, and the X7 automatically folds the second and third row seats out of the way, opening up a huge van-like 2,560 liters of storage. If you're wondering how this matches up against its rivals, it's way more than the Audi Q7 and just a tiny bit less than the Mercedes-Benz GLS. Here in the second row, the X7 treats its passengers like royalty with plenty of headroom and legroom, and even allows them to recline the seat for added comfort. There's privacy shades on either side, high-definition entertainment screens, and super soft pillows on the headrest that I can almost guarantee are more comfortable than the ones you sleep on every night. Much like the exterior, the interior is breathtaking with leather covering everything. Seats, leather. Door panels, leather. Dashboard, leather. Steering wheel, leather. Roof liner, leather. Sun visors, leather. Everything is leather. But more than the material itself, it is the quality that is truly impressive. Speaking of quality, and in the DB11 specifically, I must highlight that the President and Group CEO, Dr. Andy Palmer, personally inspected the first 1,000 cars to roll off the production line. Some reports also suggest that since this happened after working hours, there were nights where he would sleep in the factory. And that's the sort of dedication that not a lot of other CEOs have. I mean, imagine Bill Gates going through every line of code written for a new Windows operating system, or Doug McMillan personally stocking shelves in Walmart to ensure products have the perfect placement. It's unheard of, it's commendable, and for that, massive respect to you, Andy. Look around the cabin and you're likely to notice some German influences, specifically Mercedes-Benz, and that's because Daimler holds a 5% stake in the brand. The infotainment screen and the software it runs is out of a Mercedes. The infotainment rotary controller and the trackpad that sits above it is out of a Mercedes. The stalks that control the wipers, the indicator and the cruise control are out of a Mercedes. But there's still a strong sense of being sat in an Aston with glass-covered buttons and an overwhelming feeling of opulence.